Hi again then guys, and welcome to of course another speed tune for Forza Horizon 4, in particular this time for a car which for some reason is always really popular. I don't fully understand why. I kind of put this car in a similar category to the Veneno, wherein it certainly looks the part, but to be fully honest, it doesn't really offer anything that the Aventador can't already do. It's essentially an evolution of the same concept, and that is of course the Lamborghini Centenario. Now the Veneno at least has kind of this hardcore track vehicle vibe, whereas this one it's just pure show off. And for the price, trust me, go for an Aventador. It's a better all-round car. But for those who have bought this one, here's a tune, because of course some people do still want to use it. Now as far as the upgrades go before the tuning itself, you want to leave the standard engine in, because you do have a racing V12 option, but the standard engine is significantly more powerful, around 1500 horsepower, compared to, I think it's around 1200 for the racing V12. As far as the rest, of course, you want to drop the weight, improve the anti-roll if you choose to, that's more on the handling side of things. Of course, upgrade the power as far as you can. There's not actually a huge amount that you can do to the car. In terms of the tyres, as you can see from the yellow stripe, I've left the stock ones on there. The reason for that is because the racing tyres with the white lettering actually makes no difference. They're exactly the same. So you can fit the racing tyres if you want to, if you like the look of them. But personally, I like the yellow stripe on the standard. So as far as the actual benchmark goes, and incidentally, of course, this is on my storefront. So if you want to just download it quickly without going through any of this, just use the keywords or my gamer tag down in the description below and you'll find it pretty easily. But if you do want to do it yourself, these are the numbers that you're going to be looking at. Just under 3 seconds to 60, which doesn't actually sound that impressive for such a powerful car. 0 to 100 in 4.4, once again, it's okay. Top speed of 271 according to the benchmark. Now of course we'll see how quickly it can actually go in a race in just a second, but I think you can kind of tell what I was saying. It's fast, but it's not exactly justifiable based on its price, in a very similar way to the Veneno. Now, as far as the gears go, I'd recommend initially a final drive of 3.1, then for the individual gears we've got 3.9, 2.45, 1.81, 1.44, 1.20, 1.01 and 0.84. Then, as far as the handling side of things, pretty much everything else from there onward. For the alignment, we've got neutral camber, neutral toe. The all-wheel drive, of course, does a lot of the work for you when it comes to handling and stability. I've opted for 4 degrees of caster, but you can go higher and lower. Try it out, see what you prefer. As far as anti-roll, we've got those on 20 and 30. The springs on 90, 135, and the lowest ride height on both the front and the rear. The dampers on 10, 12, 5 and 6. Aero, of course, does not apply, and as you can see, I have not fitted the racing wings. Now, I know a lot of people like to fit those, but I would not recommend it. It improves your handling, but it sacrifices speed, so it depends what you need. And then as far as the diff, I'd recommend 100% on acceleration, 0 on decel, and that's a very nice setup for cornering. It actually is a very good handling car. And as far as the center split, I would recommend 70%. That's pretty much the sweet spot for this one, as far as launch off the line, but also having really, really nimble handling. So that's it for the tune. Now, of course, what you want to see is what can it do in a race. Now, to say that this car is overrated, I would say is absolute fact. However, that does not make it a bad car. It's just not as overwhelmingly dominant as people seem to assume it is, purely based on its price. Again, the Veneno suffers from the exact same problem, and so do a couple of other supercars as well. People just assume that if it costs multiple millions of credits, it must be one of the best things out there. It's not one of the worst things out there, but it can certainly be beaten. That being said, it's a good car, and it can go beyond the benchmark to 273. It can hold a consistent 272, but as you can see, it's flickering up around 273 in the race as well, which is pretty impressive for what it is. The acceleration isn't quite as impressive as you would hope, but the top speed kind of makes up for it, and the handling is probably the best thing about this car. So if you do pick up a Centenario, use this tune, have fun with it, and of course, win races. But if you want to check out my other tunes, you can check out my storefront in the game. We've now passed like 15,000 downloads in the game, or you can click the playlist here on screen to see all of my other tunes here on YouTube. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.